fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Welcome to it. Pat Gray and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck Program. He's back on Monday. 888-727-BECK. We got a full slate of stuff we got to get to, including what's going on in Iraq and Iran and what may be going on there very soon. We'll get to all of that and much more in 1 minute.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
You know what they're saying. New year and new you. But what about this one? New phone, new tablet, new cyber threats. It's true. When you shop online, bank, or browse online with the shiny new devices that you got over the holidays, you are vulnerable to cyber threats. And if you only think an old school antivirus is going to be enough to defend your devices and help protect the information you store on them, you're forgetting one very important thing. Cybercrime updates as well. You'll need protection that evolves and updates too. You need Norton 360. It's a cyber safety membership with multiple layers of protection, including real-time security for your devices, a VPN to help protect your privacy on Wi-Fi, and a password manager to securely manage your logins and more. Now, nobody can prevent all cybercrime, but Norton 360 is your ally. Get Norton 360 and save up to 50% off your first year by going to norton.com/Beck. That's norton.com/Beck for up to 50% off.
Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck Program, 888-727-BECK. Iraqi TV and 3 Iraqi officials said that General Qasem Soleimani, head of Iran's elite Quds force, has been killed in an airstrike at Baghdad's international airport. The official said the strike also killed Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes, the deputy commander of Iran-backed militias known as the Popular Mobilization Forces. So those two very influential, big officials in Iran are gone. We lost them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we lost them. Their deaths are probably going to spark some chaos, I would guess. Maybe some retaliation from Iran.
It does seem that way, and Iran has, pretty much said as much.
Yeah.
But, look, we killed these 2 men
in response
from Iran.
Yes.
In response in Iraq, another
yes.
country.
What are they doing there?
Thank you.
Well, what they were doing there was the general was planning attacks against U.S. forces.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
so that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, to them it is.
Yes, I know.
Perfectly fine.
I know.
So President Trump's take on this is he should have been taken out many years ago.
Of course.
He's right. It would have saved American lives.
Yes, it would have.
So we'll see what they have, what they're going to do about it. But I don't know. Do you just keep taking this? Do you keep taking it and taking it and taking it? Or do you finally put a stop to it, as President Trump has tried to do here?
And that's the concern, right? I mean, yes, was it the right thing to do? Yeah.
I think so.
Did we absolutely need to do it? Yeah.
Seems like it.
Yeah, it does seem like it. That needs to happen, right? I mean,
it does seem like this has escalated things, though, again, right?
I know.
And
that's
we were
at a time when we were talking about getting out.
Just talked about it yesterday. It's time to actually pull out the remaining forces in Afghanistan and Iraq. And after 18 years, who can be opposed to that? I'm certainly not. Maybe there are people who are opposed to that, but I think it's time. It's going on 2 decades.
My hands up. Get out.
Yeah, let's go. But now you can't just up and leave now because things are going to get a little more dicey over there. And so they're talking about putting thousands of extra forces in there now. I think I just heard yesterday. Didn't I hear another 4,000 are being prepped to maybe go back in?
I mean, okay.
And that's probably prudent because, you can expect some sort of retaliation effort on the part of Iran. So all the countries that make up the UN Security Council are all yelling about it. None of them. I don't know that any of them support it. Even our allies were a little iffy on it.
Yes.
And, of course...
woke up to a world less safe.
Oh,
okay.
Geez. Shut
Thank
up.
you.
Shut up. Thanks for your help. Get off our continent. Take your stupid UN building. We're going to bulldoze it. So get your crap out of it, load it onto a cargo plane, and get out. It's just, I'd love to do that with the UN. And if there's a president who would do it, it's this one.
I know. There's nothing I want more than to have Donald Trump say, you know what? The U.S. is going to pay for it. And what I've done is I've rented U-Hauls and just have them rode up in front of the UN. There
Absolutely.
Pack them up.
You got 48 hours. Get out. All of you. I don't want to see a single diplomat here in that building and left.
Right.
It's over.
Right. And just to rub salt in everybody's wound, it's going to be Trump condos.
That would be perfect.
Yes.
That would seriously be perfect. And, take it back to Europe. Headquarter the UN in Belgium, like every other one world government organization.
Thank you.
Headquarter it in Belgium. That's where it belongs. It doesn't belong in New York anyway. And we never get any support from the UN. Never. We always get condemnation. The U.S. and Israel receive nothing but condemnation, and we're the only two countries in the world who care about human rights, anybody's rights. And we just get slapped around for it all the time, backstabbed all the time. It's just tiresome. It really is. It's tiresome. And it's time to get rid of it. Of course, that'll never happen.
No.
I don't know why, but it won't happen. Meanwhile, anti-Semitic attacks are continuing in New York City. Things are pretty ugly there.
Really ugly.
Of course, they had the shooting at the deli, had the Hanukkah attack, where a guy with a machete came into a rabbi's house and stabbed 5 people with a machete before they drove him out of the house. Then he tried to go next door to the synagogue, wanted to break in there, but a bunch of people from the house had gone into the synagogue and barricaded themselves in there, so he couldn't get in there, fortunately. Then you've got all kinds of attacks going on the streets where Hasidic Jews are being just beaten and kicked and attacked with folding chairs in the street.
And
it's
the hatred
weird.
Being preached
Wow.
from the haters is almost becoming overwhelming. It's pretty shocking.
You have to see this or listen to this from Ava Mohammed, who is a member of the Nation of Islam. Listen to what she is saying about the Jews firing up people in the Nation of Islam against the Jews.
The Torah. The only time the Jews have ever been present among us is to open their outposts, their retail stores, to sell us damaged, cheap goods, marked up against the price.
Wow.
They were down there in the cotton fields, in the Mississippi Delta, teaching the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants who were too stupid to keep us in check after the end of the Civil War. It was the Jews that have taught the white man.
That's interesting.
All the way up to the NBA
the
now.
NBA,
A modern-day microcosm of a plantation. Minister Farrakhan,
she nailed that.
Contrary to this idea, he attacks them. He is Allah's weapon against them. As a light-giving son, he is exposing them. He is making them known because through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that only he is bringing, we will be freed of this blood-sucking parasite. So they will no longer be able to sell us alcohol, drugs, depraved sex,
Could you not say no to any of that stuff?
That is keeping us from a hereafter.
No personal responsibility whatsoever. That's fascinating. There's not one iota of personal responsibility going on there. None of it.
Not.
I mean, it's all the Jews' fault because they're selling it to them, and it's so ridiculous. That's just stupid.
Not only damaged goods. Not only damaged goods.
Right, but what about the liquor and the drugs? The Jews are selling the black people, I guess. And the sex. The sex they're peddling. Man,
depraved. That's the word she used.
Depraved Jewish sex is being sold to minority populations, and that's got to stop.
Oh, man.
Wow, that kind of hatred is really poisonous. Really. Where do you even start with that? The Jews were in the South teaching whites how to hold on to their slaves?
Because they were too dumb, right? The Protestants.
Yeah, well, the whites were obviously too stupid. And the Jews taught them because the Jews, having been slaves themselves for 400 years, I guess they were familiar how to hold on to slaves. They learned from their slave masters, and then they taught the stupid Protestant white people how to do it in the American South. I wasn't aware of that history. That's an interesting lesson we just were taught there.
That's my new band name, though, Jews on the Delta.
That is just crazy talk and dangerous.
Oh, my gosh.
And just hate-filled.
I mean, that's female Louis Farrakhan.
She's really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, where's the Southern Poverty Law Center on her? And her hate that she was just spewing there.
That's right.
It's probably a representative from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Plus, the NBA is the modern day plantation.
Obviously they are.
So on the cotton plantations, the Jews were the blacks were making the slaves there were making a lot of money. They would like the NBA players, were they being well paid, well compensated for their slavery?
Pat, they couldn't stop.
It seems to be the antithesis of slavery is when you're being paid a huge sum of money to do what you're doing.
To perform at something that you're really good at.
Yeah.
Man, I hate that.
And that you chose to do because you don't have to. You could go work anywhere. You don't have to work in this particular plantation.
No, you don't have to. They're being forced, right?
No.
The players in the NBA are being forced.
They can leave it at any time and go somewhere else. Yeah.
What about after they sign the contract, though?
Yeah.
You can't break contracts.
Yeah, you can, and they do all the time, pretty much every day. Yeah, So, you could leave your $20 million job and go sell shoes at Payless.
You could.
I guess.
You could, if there were any more Paylesses.
That is outrageous. And how many times are we going to hear the NBA referred to as a plantation or a slave ship?
We went down the road. We can't call the people who actually own the teams owners.
Yeah, that was changed to something. The administrators or something. Yeah, they won't because of the slavery issue. It's unbelievable. It is ridiculous. 888-727-BECK. It's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program.
According to the census, only 1 in 5 homes have any home security, probably because most companies don't make it easy with complicated installations, long-term contracts, astronomical monthly fees. But SimpliSafe is different, and that's why they've been my choice for home security for a very long time. You get smart lock and video doorbell to defend your front door against porch pirates, and an arsenal of sensors to cover every inch of your home. And with SimpliSafe, there are never any long-term contracts, just comprehensive professional home security for $15 a month. This is your last chance to take advantage of SimpliSafe's amazing holiday savings. 25% off your system plus a free HD security camera with your order. SimpliSafe, they rarely run deals this big, so now is your chance. I have not seen a deal this good until now at simplysafebeck.com. But hurry, the sale ends January 7th. That's simplysafebeck.com. simplysafebeck.com.
Pat Gray and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. Okay, so the owners aren't called owners in the NBA anymore. They moved away from that term years ago, we're being told.
According to Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner.
Years ago, long time.
We're not using that term owner anymore.
What are they being called instead? It's not administrators.
No, it is not administrators. We call our team owners, and it's funny how he says we call our team owners.
Right.
Governor of the team, and alternate governor.
Okay, that's just stupid. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not calling the NBA owners governors of the team. Governors of the team?
It certainly is.
So the guy who paid $800 million for the franchise is not the owner.
No, he's not the owner.
I see. Okay.
No, but it's funny how we're going to call the owners of the team something else.
The guy who buys the Lakers for $3 billion, he's not the owner.
That's correct.
He's just the governor of the team.
Yes, of course.
Okay. It's asinine.
Dumb.
How stupid we've become as a society. It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Just dumb.
Just embarrassing.
We're supposed to believe that a woman isn't a woman because
a man's
they
not
say
a man.
they're not a woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
you know what?
and if they feel like they're not, they identify as a man. That makes them a man,
And
even though
fine.
they've got woman parts and they can have a baby. That means men can now have babies. No, it doesn't. That's not what it means.
If you think you're a man and you're a woman, fine, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. That's
But
fine. But don't try to change science. Don't tell me you can have a baby now.
You're not.
Because you identify as something different. You've been taking hormones. And then,
Right.
and by the way, stop taking those hormones because now you want to have a baby like a woman does.
Right.
And the only way you can do it is being a woman. Don't tell me you're a man because you're not. It's impossible for a man to have a baby. Sorry, that's just science. That's not hate. That's not discrimination. It's just a fact.
I mean, I don't know that
it's a fact.
I don't know that the site Babylon Bee has done a story yet on a female who has transitioned into a zebra, actually had a human baby. But I mean, it's just stop. It's not true.
All right.
You're not going to make me believe it. It's okay. You can believe it.
Yeah, you can if you want
but
to.
It's not real. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
The rest of us aren't going to play along.
Remember the days when Republicans, conservatives, were supposedly science deniers? Wow. Nobody denies science more than people on the left. It's crazy, the science denial. But we're the ones who are so stupid and ridiculous. 7,000 years. The world is 7,000 years old. How much crazier is it for people to be saying, oh, yeah, a man can have a baby. Sure. Mm-hmm. And a woman can provide sperm. Oh.
Okay.
But don't you dare tell me that the Earth is 7,000 or 10,000 years old. It's ridiculous. I mean, which is more likely? Which is more Occam's razor? Which one of those two scenarios is more likely, that a man can have a baby, or that the Earth is 7,000 or 8,000 years old?
I think we both know the answer. to that,
I think we
Pat.
do. It's the man can have a baby. That's the more likely
Thank
thing
you.
too.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of all this anti-Semitism, more than a month before he was charged with the Hanukkah celebration stabbings, prosecutors say this Grafton Thomas used his cell phone to search the internet on why did Hitler hate the Jews? Strange. Why does it matter to you why he hated the Jews? Either you do or you don't, right? I guess he was looking for reasons to hate.
Right.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Bizarre.
Yeah.
Then he entered that 3 more times over the following weeks. That was just one of the red flags authorities found when they went through all of his stuff. There were more online searches for temples near me. There were journals with the words Nazi culture on the same page as a swastika and a Star of David. The discoveries detailed by an FBI agent would bring Thomas to court this coming Monday on federal hate crime charges, a day after he was charged with attempted murder in the stabbing that wounded 5 people at a rabbi's home in New York's Rockland County. This 37-year-old defendant answered routine questions, telling a judge he was coherent before shuffling away slowly, feet shackled, to be held without bail. So that's just one of the many incidents that have happened in New York City lately, where there's been a rash of anti-Semitism. A 22-year-old man was assaulted by a 24-year-old woman overnight. That was the 13th reported anti-Semitic hate crime in the city since December 23rd, the first full day of Hanukkah.
Wow.
So when Hanukkah began, I guess all the haters came out and started attacking Jews. Also, a 15-year-old with a yarmulke was assaulted on a bus on the way home from school by some men at knife point. The NYPD released videos of 2 recent attacks carried out by the same group of teenage suspects. One shows a group approach a 56-year-old Hasidic man on Christmas Eve in Crown Heights and then knock him to the ground. Minutes later, just blocks away, that same group hit another Hasidic man over the head with a folding chair. Why? So it's gotten so prevalent and so bad that who's getting into the picture again? Curtis Sliwa and the Guardian Angels.
Right.
He's breaking out that group again.
Right. I was just reading about him not long ago.
It's interesting.
It is fascinating. His story is pretty fascinating.
It is.
And, okay.
He just came out with a statement. If they're going to attack Jews, they're going to pay the price. They're starting to call the Guardian Angels, as they did in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. We shouldn't have to go back to that period of time. We became such a better city, and now we're beginning to slip back into the abyss. It's true. It seems like, he's right about that. New York was becoming a pretty safe city.
Yes, it was.
Really sad to see this.
I'm sure
stop.
Mayor de Blasio's got a handle on it.
Oh, you're in good hands with de Blasio and Governor Cuomo. They'll take care of this right away.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
You know, there's a saying in business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And now the rapid pace of business, it's hard to keep up with those numbers. Can you afford to expand? Can you make that new hire? Can you launch a new ad campaign? How's revenue pacing compared to last year? Now, most companies don't have a clear picture of their finances, so they make business decisions without that critical information based on their gut or worse, their fear. And that's why many businesses fail. Serious entrepreneurs and finance teams run on NetSuite by Oracle. This is the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite offers a full picture of all of your finances all in one place in real time, right from your phone or your desktop. So you don't have to guess anymore. And that's why NetSuite customers grow 3 times faster than the S&P 500, and you can too. Schedule your free demo right now and receive their free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/Beck. Set up your free demo and get your free guide today. netsuite.com/Beck.
Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program, 888-727-BECK. You can listen to my show, Pat Gray Unleashed, immediately preceding this show every weekday, Monday through Friday, and then anytime you want on the podcast if you don't like to get up early. Jeffy's podcast is always available. Usually what time does it go up?
During mid-afternoon,
okay.
Every day, chewing the fat. Just go to theblaze.com/podcast and click on that and subscribe. And it's free to you today to do that.
Wow.
I know.
Today, and tomorrow, and the day after that.
But I'm just saying, it's free today.
One more day after that, and the day after that.
Don't bog me down with facts. Just know that it's free today.
All right. So you can probably the best way, the easiest way, is just to go to theblaze.com/podcast.
Yes,
and then I guess can you choose it from there?
Yes, you can.
Which format you want to use?
Yes, you can click. Click shows and formats,
and then please rate and subscribe. It'd be awesome. And by the way, there's great deals on subscribing to the Blaze TV too, so you can do that as well.
Please.
Meanwhile, what is happening in Texas? We ask that question every once in a while because there's reason for it. First of all, who was it that was talking about the fact? Oh, Beto O'Rourke was talking about the fact that Texas is only 9 seats away from Democrat control in the legislature. Besides that, there just seems to be a feeling and a force in Texas that is pushing us towards being a blue state. It's turning a little bit purple, people believe, and it just needs a little bit of a shove, and they're trying to give it that shove. Now,
well, they were hoping with that with Beto, right? When
yes,
he was up
they were.
Ted Cruz.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
No, it did not.
If Texas goes blue, if Texas goes to Democrats, Republicans won't win national elections. You got to have Texas. You have to. It's the most populous conservative state in the country by far.
That's a fight we need to have because
it is.
The thought of that could never happen in Texas. What are you talking about? That could never happen.
It can.
Look around. The metropolitan areas have.
A year and a half ago, I would have been right there with everybody else. Shut up.
I know.
That's not happening. In fact, I think I said it. Well, it is happening.
All
it is happening.
The major metropolitan areas all are.
They already are. Houston,
yes.
Dallas, Austin for sure.
Yes.
Austin has been for a while.
Yeah, Austin is the mainstay of that, right? That's the heartthrob of it.
Yeah, but San Antonio, El Paso, they're all Democrat.
I know.
And then in the suburbs, we still got Republican control of the suburbs, but even that, the Republicans are loosening their grip on that.
And the problem is that we're allowing people from other states to move here. And I don't know if you know this, Pat, or not, but this was just broke right now. Breaking news: Texas just closed.
Texas is closed.
Just closed.
Yes, thank you.
Look, you can live anywhere you want, just not Texas.
Maybe the wall we should be worried about is the one between us and California.
People look. That's what happens to a number of states and a number of cities and a number of places, all over the country. Right? You get people, an influx of new people, and instead of realizing that, hey, maybe we need to, rethink the way we did things before because that's why we had to move. Mm-hmm. No, they fall right back into the same thought and process of we need to be just like we did before. No, that's. Didn't work then.
It just doesn't make any sense that you would leave California because California sucks, and then you would come to Texas and try to make it California.
Right.
Stop doing that.
What are you doing?
But it's happened all over the West. Californians have gone to Oregon, Washington, and tried to turn those, and they have. They've turned those into California. They've gone to Boise, Idaho, and they're turning that into California. They're trying to do the same thing in Utah. Stop infecting these states with your liberalism, please, by all that is holy.
But that's what gives the feel that Texas is closer than I think it is flipping.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just maybe we are closer.
It's gotten closer. There's no doubt about that.
Just give up.
And if we do give up, then you'll see some changes. This just isn't the time for that.
I know.
It's a time for renewed vigor and renewed effort because
everywhere
we've got to stop it. We have to stop it.
Right. And look, that's where we're at with President Trump too, right?
Yes.
He's given us a lot of that renewed vigor, man.
He has. Yeah, he has. He's made people really passionate.
Yes, he has.
If the supporters of Donald Trump love Donald Trump. And on the opposite end, if you don't like him, you really, really hate him. We've seen that. It's amazing polarization with Donald Trump. And the effort to remove him from office has been insane. It's been insane.
It has been insane. But that is one of the main reasons for that. There's plenty of them, but one of the main reasons is because of his renewed vigor for the love of the country and for saying we're not going to do it the way we did it before.
Right.
Now, is that true with everything he does? I'm going back to that new spending bill. Just kills me. But,
yeah, I know. I know.
Let that go. Stop talking about that.
Right.
Just never mind.
Let's just forget about it. The debt doesn't.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
we
about
talked
the
about
debt.
it yesterday. Debt doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
That's old.
Sorry.
That's old. That's old hat. We don't need to talk about that. But interestingly, Chris Hayes had Al Green on his show, Representative Al Green, and he
from Texas, by the way,
from Texas,
a Democrat.
Yes, an agonizing Democrat from Texas, and he was trying to make the point that these Republicans are spinning this old yarn about the fact that Democrats have been grasping at straws and have intended to impeach this guy since right after the election for the last 2 years, and they actually say that you're one of the lead guys in that. What do you have to say? Watch this. This is unbelievable.
Been leveled against Democrats during this entire affair, particularly since September when the formal impeachment inquiry started. And you play a starring role in those charges. I mean, the argument goes like this of House Republicans and Trump and his allies, the president and his allies, is basically the Democrats wanted to impeach Donald Trump from day one. They cast it out looking for a set of facts that they could plausibly use to do it. And all of it was pretextual and reverse engineered to get to this point. Exhibit 1, Congressman Al Green, who's been calling for the man's impeachment for 2 years now. What's your response to that charge?
Well, the genesis of impeachment, to be very candid with you,
yes, please,
was when the president was running for office.
Wait,
he had members of his own party to talk about his unfitness to hold office.
Wait, what?
The persons who were running against him, Mr. Romney, spoke of his not being fit to hold office.
Huh, really?
Oh, man.
Isn't that surprising that the people running against him would talk about him being unfit for office? Let's turn to his opposition. And
how do you feel?
And how do you feel about Trump? Was Trump was he fit for office? No,
he was not. He's not fit.
So I because it came from Romney, because they believe everything Mitt Romney says. You know, Al Green agrees with Mitt Romney all the time.
It is a beautiful thing to see Chris Hayes lay the groundwork of, I'm giving you your out. Here you go. This was all,
and rather than taking the out, he confirms
and goes farther
than the setup would indicate. Not only were we doing that after the election, they were doing it before the election.
Yeah, it wasn't just days after; it was negative days.
Yeah. To be candid, this started. The genesis of this began with candidate Trump. Wait. Okay, so the obvious thing would have been to stop him and say, "I'm sorry, Representative Green, you're saying you started the impeachment process before he was elected president?"
That's correct,
That's
Chris.
correct, right? We hate him that much, Chris. We hate him so much that even the thought of him becoming a president made us sick to our stomachs, and we tried to do something about it even before his election. That is incredible stuff.
We couldn't believe when he was elected, so
then we went ahead with all our plans to impeach the guy, and like you said, we did try to find the set of parameters that would fit into an impeachment process.
Yes, we did.
So, you're exactly right. The Republicans were exactly right. I mean, that is incredible. Not only did he confirm everything Chris said in the setup, he went beyond it, which is, I mean, that's amazing.
Sure is.
It would have been great to interview Chris Hayes right after that interview and say, hey, did you notice, Chris, that he went even further than, your preposterous setup about how the Republicans are spinning this thing?
He did? No, I thought he confirmed everything I said. He confirmed that they had been working on it for quite some time in the past 2 years.
That's amazing that he would admit it started before he was elected.
The doors are open, right? They don't care.
They don't care. I mean, yeah, Al's
like, look.
Well, Glenn said years ago that they would just drop the mask. The mask would come off, and they would show you their socialist tendencies, and they would show you their plans, because they believe that they've gone so far now that you can't stop them anyway. And that's what they're doing.
And being the ball of fire that Al and Chris both are, he's just like, we were doing it way before he was elected. I'm tired. We hate the guy. We want him out of office. All right, is there coffee I can have somewhere? Or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have this irrational hatred for him.
Yeah, we got to get him out of there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he's actually done. We're gonna
even a guy that claims to be a Republican, Mitt Romney, doesn't like him. So I mean, he's got to go,
and that too is amazing. It's like, let's go to the some other person who was running against him and find out what he thinks about him, and we'll just take everything he said as gospel truth. It's just ridiculous. It's like, if you went to Bernie Sanders, would he say that Joe Biden is fit for office? No, he would not. He would say, no, he's unfit. In fact, he is saying that.
Thank you.
Bernie Sanders is saying that Biden is unfit for office. He's coming out pretty strong against him lately, because what it looks like in the latest polls is that this thing is boiling down to Bernie versus Joe. And so Bernie is calling out Biden, and he's saying, here's what he said. It's just a lot of baggage that Joe takes into a campaign, which isn't going to create energy and excitement. He brings into this campaign a record which is so weak that it just cannot create the kind of excitement and energy that's going to be needed to defeat Donald Trump. It doesn't take much imagination to understand that Trump will be saying, you see this guy? He voted for NAFTA. And people are tired of the traditional types of campaigns in which candidates like Joe are running to wealthy people's homes and raising large sums of money.
I hate it when wealthy people do what they want with their money.
Me too. Yeah,
Man,
they shouldn't have a First Amendment right to free speech. They shouldn't. They should not.
Thank you.
Because they're wealthy, and so that means they're evil.
Shouldn't have free speech. You know what? I'll tell them what to do with the money.
Yes.
I'll tell them what to do with the money. Let's do that.
I'll tell them how to make the money. I'll tell them how much they can make, and then what they can do with it when they make it. That's what we'll do.
That's a good idea.
This class warfare stuff has to end too. But I don't know. We've got a situation here where on the Democrat side, they're just all so terrible. It's like
right, and you say it's coming down to Bernie and Joe, and Pete's the one that's in front.
Yeah,
right in Iowa.
In Iowa,
right. I know.
In the latest poll, but it's been a couple weeks now. But the latest poll had Buttigieg up 24-21 over Bernie. Elizabeth Warren had 18, and Biden had 15. It's fourth.
That is not good for the malarkey tour.
But I just don't think that holds up for Buttigieg in the later states.
No way.
I think it ends after Iowa and New Hampshire for him. 888-727-BECK. It's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
Mortgage rates are so low right now, it is truly the right time to review your financial goals and set the course for your family's future. My choice is American Financing. They're a family-owned national mortgage banker with a salary-based mortgage consultant, so they're in it for you. If it's your goal to purchase a new home, maybe you could use a little more space, or you're downsizing, they can help. If you're looking to consolidate debt into one low payment, or just reduce your interest rate to pay less over the life of your loan, American Financing can save you thousands of dollars. And if you're in a variable rate loan, I urge you, get into a fixed rate. American Financing, the only lender I endorse, the people I trust. No commission, no upfront fees, and no pressure. They'll cover you coast to coast in 10 minutes. 800-906-2440. That's 800-906-2440. Or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
American Financing, NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Triple 8-727-BECK. It's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. I'm sure Glenn will address this when he gets back on Monday. But we didn't mention this yesterday. We lost Don Imus over the holiday break.
Really sad.
Really, really sad.
Really sad to see Don go.
Guy was a genius. I mean, just a radio genius and a legend. And I didn't know him as well as Glenn does, obviously, but just a funny guy and somebody who'll let you know how he feels from time to time.
Yes, which didn't rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah, it did.
And a number of people were that he rubbed the wrong way were saying some stuff that made Mr. Beck unhappy over the holidays. So I know he'll address it when he comes back.
Yeah. He was tough to compete against, too. I know when we were in the Hartford, New Haven area, and his radio signal came in from WFAN when he was still there at the time. And, I mean, it was a ratings battle back and forth all the time. He'd be number one once. We'd be number one the next time. He'd be number one again the next time. He's really, really tough to compete against. The guy, I mean, people love him. I loved him. And I think at the end, he was on, he stopped doing his show, I think, about a year and a half ago, right? He retired maybe
he was not doing it
April, I think, of 2018. And he was on 100 radio stations still. It's amazing. At 78 years old, he was on 100 radio stations. Really something. So thoughts and prayers are with Deidre and then his family, his kids, his sons and daughters from his previous marriage. But a really big loss in the world and certainly in the radio world. 888-727-BECK. We got to tell you about this. And this is happening in Texas. A judge has just ruled that an 11-month-old baby can be taken off of life support against the wishes of the baby's family. We'll tell you about that. It's just happening way too much now.
Way too much.
I don't know how, but it is.
Way
and it's right here in the Metroplex in Fort Worth. Get into that and much more coming up on the Glenn Beck program.
You're listening to Glenn Beck. The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck program.
You know where I wouldn't want to be right now? Tehran, Iran. I really would not want to be there as an American right now. If you're an American and you live in Iran, I might be considering a call to U-Haul.
I know they've said that they were issuing travel warnings to Iraq.
Iraq.
So I mean, I canceled my visit.
Did you?
Yeah.
You were headed there?
Well, I've got timeshare.
Oh, okay.
Timeshare in
Beautiful
Baghdad.
this time of year.
Just outside of Baghdad. And I thought, maybe not go this time.
Yeah.
So I missed out on my 2 weeks.
So we'll get into that. Also, we got to get into this ruling of this judge in Fort Worth, who says that the family doesn't have any choice. That the baby, their 11-month-old baby, who is critically ill, has to be taken off life support. Just unbelievable story. We'll get to that in 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck program.
According to the census, only 1 in 5 homes have any home security, probably because most companies don't make it easy with complicated installations, long-term contracts, astronomical monthly fees. But SimpliSafe is different, and that's why they've been my choice for home security for a very long time. You get smart lock and video doorbell to defend your front door against porch pirates, and an arsenal of sensors to cover every inch of your home. And with SimpliSafe, there are never any long-term contracts, just comprehensive professional home security for $15 a month. This is your last chance to take advantage of SimpliSafe's amazing holiday savings. 25% off your system plus a free HD security camera with your order. SimpliSafe, they rarely run deals this big, so now is your chance. I have not seen a deal this good until now at simplysafebeck.com. But hurry, the sale ends January 7th. That's simplysafebeck.com. simplysafebeck.com.
All right. In the state of Texas, this has been happening way too often. A judge ruled yesterday that an 11-month-old baby can be taken off life support at Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth against the family's wishes. How and why would you rule this way? The family of Tinsley Lewis, Tinsley was born in February with severe medical problems. They're going to appeal the decision. They're filing an emergency motion to stay, which, if granted, will prevent the hospital from removing life-sustaining care while the appeal goes on.
Well, and the hospital said, I mean, they were kind enough to say they were going to leave the baby on life support for 7 days.
That was big of them. That was big of them.
No matter which way the decision went,
good for them
to do that. And they also were the officials at Cook Children's Hospital said in a statement that the judge's decision allows the hospital staff to make the most compassionate and medically appropriate decisions for the child.
Now, when did hospital staff become the deciders in the life of a child?
That's where we're at, right? I mean,
over the parents.
I would.
That is unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable, and it happens all the time. I should believe it by now because it happens all the time, even here in the United States. And it happens a lot of times, and it doesn't make the news. And, people just deal with it. The statement from the hospital was, our medical judgment is that Tinsley should be allowed to pass naturally and peacefully. Well, that's not up to you. It should be up to her parents.
Agreed. And they even have said that look, we checked with other hospitals, and they all agreed with us. Oh, okay.
And
okay, great. Thank you.
they say even with the most extraordinary measures the medical team is taking, Tinsley continues to suffer. To keep her alive, doctors and nurses must keep her on a constant stream of painkillers, sedatives, and paralytics.
I mean,
I don't know what the condition is, and it sounds bad. It sounds really bad.
Yeah.
And she is in distress, they say. Tinsley's cousin, Ty Brown, says, we're pretty sad. We're not angry with the judge or anything, but, it's a very sad feeling. I would be.
Oh, my gosh.
I would be probably in jail right now.
Yes. I know I would be. There's no way. No.
I'm just not letting the hospital staff make the decision in the life of my child. I don't understand how that's possible. But again, happens all the time.
It does happen all the time. And
it happens in Britain. It happens here.
And, look, we've decided. We've decided that your kid can't make it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just not worth it. Remember when we talked about death panels? When the whole Obamacare discussion was going on?
That they wouldn't exist and they were crazy?
Yeah. There was a conspiracy theory that there would never be a group of people, like hospital administrators, that would decide whose life is worth trying to save and whose life isn't.
I do remember those conversations, yeah.
Based on, just the cost analysis on whether or not we thought it was worth it.
But the story I read, and this is just the story I read, I know that, there was no mention of cost analysis.
No, there wasn't. So that is true.
Don't start bringing your little ideas into the frame of the story. Okay, my friend. There was no death panels. Sure, they went to 19 different other hospitals, and they all got together and decided.
And had a little death panel decision.
Sure, they sat down and talked that.
Sure.
And we all agree that the kid can't make it, so pull the plug. Sure, that happened. Man. But that's not a death panel. Silly.
It's crazy. And here we are. Here we are. The mom has no decision.
It doesn't matter.
No right to make a choice here.
The court's decided now.
The dad has no right to make a choice here. And the family says, the family's lawyer says, criminals on death row have more rights. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? And by the way, the criminals on death row, I don't know if you're aware of this, they've actually committed a heinous crime to be in the position they're in.
Now, they have been convicted of a heinous crime.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so, and the baby, completely innocent. So.
No, but I mean, the baby was.
No, felon? No.
Just born.
Yeah, hasn't really done much.
The baby was just born.
Right. Right. So, I don't know where you go with this. I guess they're going to appeal. And they're trying to get a stay so that, the life support, because I doubt the appeal will be heard in a week. Maybe it will. But usually that doesn't happen. So you don't want the plug being pulled before you get an appeal process that goes through.
And Governor Abbott and the Attorney General have said that they're going to help, as best they can with the process. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I trust Abbott. I mean, Governor Abbott's great.
It
is. It's really tough. Yeah, it's really tough.
And I certainly am glad. I have to face it simply because we're doing this story, and you start thinking that if it was your family, or your child, what your reaction would be. And I'm with you, Pat. It would be ugly. Part of the story would be, and the father, Jeff Fisher, is now in jail.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no. I know that
because I would have had a slight disagreement with the hospital staff by now. Just a slight. We would have had some words.
I may have commented.
Voices may have been raised to a level that's not appropriate in the hospital.
Yes.
Words would have been spoken. Threats might have been made. I don't know.
Really,
actions may have been taken. Because seriously,
I know it's not funny at all.
It's not.
You'd be out of your mind.
Yeah,
you'd be out of your mind.
Yeah, you would. And so my heart goes out.
Oh my gosh! Yes, because you don't know what the right. I mean,
it's really horrible.
The kid is obviously struggling. The child is obviously struggling.
Yep.
And so, what is the right thing? That's up to the parents. You and I obviously would believe that. Guess what? You get to make the decision for your child because I don't know if you know this or not. It's your child.
Yeah, it seems to me it used to be that way. At least I thought it was. Has this always been going on where hospital administrators said, nope, we're not going to treat him anymore. Sorry. Nah, we're not going to do that.
I don't know about always, but certainly in the near past.
Yeah, in the last few years it's been that way. But I don't think 20, 30 years ago it was that way. Maybe it was, and I just wasn't aware of it. Maybe these stories didn't come out. I don't know. Maybe they didn't get as much national play as they get now. But it seems like this happens pretty frequently now. And the parents' wishes just don't matter. They just don't care what the parents want to do in these cases.
Well, Pat, you know that, look, the parents are going to always err on the kid living.
Yeah.
And that's just silly because that's...
sometimes it takes a lot of treatment and time and effort. And I guess you can't devote that kind of time and effort. Again, it goes back to me. This is death panel stuff.
19 other hospitals have agreed with us.
Is it 19?
I think it is. Yeah. I think they said that they. I think in the story they
said.
Well,
of course, the hospitals are going to stick together. That's ridiculous.
That they had talked to 19 other hospitals. I'm sure it didn't have anything to do with the whole Cook medical family of hospitals.
Yeah. I don't care if it's 900 hospitals. Of course, the hospitals are going to stick together. None of them want to get sued. And so they're all going to say, yeah, what that hospital said, that's what we think.
That's the right thing.
Yeah, that's the right way to go. Yeah, what they said. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this and see if at least the appeals process is allowed to go through and see where it winds up. I mean, I don't know how far the parents can take this. I don't know if they can afford to keep the treatment going and appeals process going, paying lawyers, paying doctors, paying the hospital bills.
What a nightmare.
I'm surprised.
For this family.
I don't see a GoFundMe page for the Brown family, but there certainly should be one so that you can help with the with this battle that they're in, the legal battle and the medical battle, for that matter. Because if the problem is that they can't afford treatment, I thought that was what Obamacare was all about. Well, wait a minute. Nobody should be denied health care. I thought everybody had health care and all the health care they need. Nobody should go bankrupt because of medical expenses. So where's that? So anyway, whichever is the case, whether they can afford it or not, the medicine involved. Once you also put the legal fees into the equation, that's going to be a massive bill, and they could probably use some help. We should look for it
doesn't say anything about the cost. What they're talking about is the bill, the code. It's called the Texas Advanced Directives Act.
Yeah.
And that claims that the physicians can use to end a patient's care they determine is futile, even if the family disagrees.
That's outrageous. That is seriously outrageous.
So, okay.
It's just like Texas Right to Life said. They're treating an 11-month-old baby like a criminal.
Yeah.
Not only disregarding the Constitution, but also sentencing an innocent 11-month-old baby to death like a criminal. I think that sums it up pretty well. 888-727-BECK.
It's time to get back into gold because there's a reset coming. And maybe you should do your own homework and consider gold or silver. 1-866-GOLD-LINE is the number I would call. You might want to spit yourself out of the system. And the way to do that is to have something in hard gold or silver. Now, you might think you're not able to afford gold. That's not true. I asked them specifically, and I think they're the only ones that do this, specifically to do an accumulation special. Now, this is not you getting in debt. This is you doing, it's like a layaway. $100 a month, and you send $100 a month, and they just keep building your gold portfolio. Nobody else does that. Accumulation special. Get started for as low as $100 a month. Please find out if gold or silver is right for you. Please batten down the hatches. 1-866-GOLD-LINE. 1-866-GOLD-LINE. Get started for as little as $100 a month. 1-866-GOLD-LINE or goldline.com.
Do you know that Stacey Abrams, who ran for governor in Georgia, still hasn't conceded? You know that from last year's election when she lost, the election. She still hasn't conceded.
Well, so she hasn't lost then. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, the vote was
she's certainly been treated like she hasn't lost. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, by Democrats. They treat her like, well, it was a stolen election. So she lost a voting lawsuit. Lost, still hasn't conceded, founded an advocacy group called Fair Fight Action that opposes reasonable measures aimed at protecting the integrity of our elections. The same people convinced that Russia is meddling in our elections want to secure the ballot box with nothing more than the honor system. Fair Fight Action filed an emergency motion in an attempt to stop Georgia from cleaning up its voter rolls. So they want to get, dead people off of the rolls. They want to get people who don't live there anymore off the rolls. They want to get people who aren't alive off the rolls.
Okay.
But that's terrible. That's Russian meddling. In a ruling last week, a judge decided that Abrams' group was improperly asking the judge to interpret state law, said the group failed to prove anyone's constitutional rights would be violated as a result, and that any voter registration erroneously canceled could simply be restored within 24 to 48 hours, according to the defense. Proper list maintenance is not only required by long-standing laws, but is also important in maintaining the integrity and smooth functioning of elections, according to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
Love him.
It's one of my
love Brad.
It's one of my favorite Raffenspergers.
Yes.
From the Georgia Raffenspergers family.
Yes. Not the Alabama Raffenspergers.
No. I don't like them at all. It's the Georgia Raffenspergers that I've always enjoyed.
Top notch.
Anyway, Mr. Raffensperger said, Georgia has registered nearly 500,000 voters since the last election. Clear proof that we're doing things to make it easy for people to vote. Recently, the state of Georgia announced that it would be removing from its voting rolls around 309,000 inactive voters who moved out of the state, whose addresses were undeliverable, or who haven't voted since 2012. Okay, is that reasonable? Kind of seems
Sounds
like
it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and maybe the reason they haven't voted since 2012 is because they're dead. Is it possible? Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
I mean, okay, if you think that's what it is, fine.
This Stacey Abrams thing is agonizing.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I do, because they're just not going to concede, and she should have won.
And no matter what happens, they're not going to concede.
She had Oprah, and she had everybody, behind her. And
she's so radical,
so great,
so extreme and
she
radical.
Was the one that gave the speech after the presidential yearly speech. It was Stacey Abrams out there talking, which was just
agonizing.
That's the word I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, agonizing.
Yeah. She's a delight. She's an absolute.
That's the word I was looking for.
Delight.
Not agonizing. Delightful. Delightful.
Yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
It's a different word completely than you were thinking about originally. I had to rethink it too real quick. Yeah, I realize she's a delight now.
Yeah.
Every time I see her, I think, what a delight. Isn't she fun?
Stacey Abrams.
She's wonderful. Wow, that's great. All right, 888-900-3393. Let's go to Mary in New York. Hi, Mary. You're on the Glenn Beck program with Pat and Jeffy.
Hi.
Hi.
I've never called the station before, so if I'm nervous, forgive me. I was an old ICU nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old. Retired. And I worked intensive care. There are a couple of sides to this. From the picture I've seen of the baby, her eyes look alert. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you the 2 points. Things have changed. Way back when I worked, if there was family involved and a person was considered brain dead, you had to have criteria. You had to have serial EEGs over a period of several days. And we never took someone off a ventilator if the family didn't want it.
That's what I thought,
I'll tell you where I worked, major medical centers. I worked at Bellevue Hospital in the city of New York, University of Colorado Medical Center. So this was two different states. You never did. You just didn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you explain to people the problem and give them some time to think about it, they come to the same realization. The other part is that you don't know the
That's
underlying
different than
diagnosis.
forcing the issue, though.
Yes,
right?
no, I agree.
Yeah.
We didn't do it back then at all. But the part that you don't know is the underlying diagnosis of the child. If this is pure money, this is pure sick.
Yeah, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say whether it is or it isn't about the money.
But her underlying diagnosis maybe this is her life, and it wouldn't be a good life. Not that I agree with them, but we don't know they can't tell you the medical part of her. You know, the family could, but the doctors and the hospitals can't. If it's pure money, it's horrible. We never did it if a family didn't want it. But there are times when we did, but again, there was a criteria, but the family wasn't involved. But sometimes people are unrealistic, sad as it sounds, and terrible as that sounds, about a prognosis.
But see, that's where you get into, the parents want their children to live, right? I mean, this child, she's 11-month-old now.
Yeah.
She's been in the hospital for the entire 11 months.
Right.
It's scary.
We never did
tough.
it. We never did it back then if the family didn't want it. I think the ethics have changed. It was more business now than, I don't know. I was in teaching hospitals. You like to learn, but the poor baby,
I know.
It's a hard decision.
Yeah,
but
it is.
There's both sides to look at.
Yeah.
But we never did it back then.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Mary. That's what I thought.
You're welcome.
That's it. It certainly seemed that way to me.
But it's better now because what they've done is they've brought in several hospitals and they've asked, hey, what do you think?
Right.
What do you guys think? And they all agreed.
Yeah, they did. And what a surprise that they would all back up.
They all agreed. And they're not
the other
agreeing
hospital.
to just end life support. They're just agreeing to try to let the child live on her own.
And it's not just one hospital, it's 19 hospitals.
So
19 hospitals agree.
So how much does it take to make a panel?
I'm not 19 seems like a pretty good number.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
You know, there's a saying in business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And now the rapid pace of business, it's hard to keep up with those numbers. Can you afford to expand? Can you make that new hire? Can you launch a new ad campaign? How's revenue pacing compared to last year? Now, most companies don't have a clear picture of their finances, so they make business decisions without that critical information based on their gut or worse, their fear. And that's why many businesses fail. Serious entrepreneurs and finance teams run on NetSuite by Oracle. This is the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite offers a full picture of all of your finances all in one place in real time, right from your phone or your desktop. So you don't have to guess anymore. And that's why NetSuite customers grow 3 times faster than the S&P 500, and you can too. Schedule your free demo right now and receive their free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/Beck. Set up your free demo and get your free guide today. netsuite.com/Beck.
It's Pat Gray and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. He returns on Monday morning. 888-727-BECK. You can listen to my show, Pat Gray Unleashed, immediately preceding this show, right before this show, from 5 to 7, no, from 7 to 9 Eastern, and 6 to 8 Central Time.
That's correct.
It's bizarre. I can't tell time anymore. So, and then if you don't want to get don't want to get up super early, just download the podcast.
If you're a bum. You're a bum and just want to lay in bed and listen to things when you want to. Okay.
Maybe you're a liberal and you don't have a job you need to get up for.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. You can listen to the show later in the day.
TheBlaze.com.
Yeah.
TheBlaze/podcast. Okay.
And you'll find Jeffy's Chewing the Fat podcast there as well. We've been talking about this infant who's 11 months old at Cook Children's Medical Hospital in Fort Worth. And a judge has just ruled that the baby's life support can be turned off against the parents' wishes. The family really wants to keep going, and the medical personnel have said, "Nah, there's no reason for it.
We've been doing this for 11 months now.
It's time to stop."
It's time.
I don't know where you draw that line or when.
I don't. I mean, to me, you draw the line with, I'm the parent and we've got to.
Yeah, the parents decide, right?
Yes.
Let's go to Ron in New Mexico. Hey, Ron, you're on the Glenn Beck program with Pat and Jeffy.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yeah, so, I completely support the family wanting to keep their child alive, but I also don't think that they have the right to subjugate their wishes onto the hospital. The hospital, maybe if they don't want to be involved in continuing something that they see as being unethical, they shouldn't be forced to.
Well, you're talking about the life of a person, though.
What's unethical about that for a hospital?
Yeah, isn't it kind of unethical to give up a treatment when the family's wishes are that you keep the patient alive?
I support them moving the child to another hospital. But let's say it was something else, like you wanted the hospital to perform a sex change on an 8-year-old. Well, are you going to then force the hospital to do what you want just because it's what you want?
No, but that's not a life and death matter, for one thing. So it's a little bit different. Different.
That's what the trans people would say, is that it is.
They probably would.
They would.
They probably would.
Mm-hmm. But according to one of the articles I read, the child has a heart defect, high blood pressure, and a chronic lung condition.
Yeah, it's very ill.
It's going to take some healing.
Yes,
the possibility of an actual recovery is pretty low. And for them, it seems like we're just doing stuff to her. We're not really improving her overall condition.
And they do claim the baby's in pain as well.
Yes, no matter what they do.
Yeah,
they can only.
I really feel.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh my!
It's a tough situation. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. We had another situation sort of like this. Was it a year or two ago, where there was a hospital that wanted to deny treatment to an ailing patient, and the family.
That was the family in England, though, right?
Was it England or was it here? It might have been England.
I don't remember.
I don't know. There have been so many of these stories.
I get them confused together, but they
do blend together. But there was an alternative hospital, and they had somebody who was going to give them care. And the hospital wouldn't even let them move the patient.
Right.
Because they made their decision. No, sorry, we're turning off the...
Right.
We're shutting down life support. Well, no, I've got somebody who will treat them. They've agreed to this. And so I don't know if that's the case with this baby. If there's a hospital that they could transfer the baby to, then you should probably do that.
I don't know where that would be. They said that they said that they checked with 19 other hospitals, all agreeing with the same diagnosis.
Were there 19 hospitals in this area, or were they just in the Cook Children's network? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? So I don't know. It's a really tough.
It sure is.
It
sure is.
It's a tough and really tragic issue, and it's hard to take that decision away from the parents.
It sure is.
From the family.
It sure is, because we're told all the time that somebody knows better than us.
All the time.
All the time. Somebody knows better than us. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Mike Bloomberg, Bill de Blasio. They all.
We don't even know how
to
eat, according to those progressives.
They all know better than us.
Yeah, you got.
And now the hospitals. No, they know better than us. Everybody knows better. Look, you're just a dummy.
Right.
Sure.
We're not capable of making decisions like this.
We understand you as a lowly, dumb human want your child to live forever. But we've decided that we know better. And it's tiring.
Yeah, and we don't want to be told that. And when it's your child, of course you don't want that to happen. And you do anything to save them. You do anything to save them.
Whatever it was.
And in some cases, it might be unreasonable. There might be no way for this baby to survive. But if they have the means...
I think my answer to that would be so.
Yeah, I know. Especially if they have the means. And I don't know, because this story, that we read...
I never saw anything.
It doesn't say anything about the money situation.
Financials.
Doesn't say whether they can afford it or they can't. Whether they're paying their bills or they're not. It doesn't say anything about that. So...
And we don't even know that. Are we drawing the line there? Are we drawing the line?
Shouldn't. No.
That the hospital has now decided, well, we'd take care of your patient. But
you can't afford it.
I mean, there's that argument as well, because people do who are able to afford better care, those evil rich people that are able to afford better care. I mean, I don't know where that line is. The line is you get the best that you can.
All I know is those people shouldn't exist because they're evil. Those people with lots of money who can't afford all this stuff.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you did.
It had to be said. Okay. It had to be said.
Thank you.
Right? I mean, if there's one thing we've learned from Democrats, it's that wealthy people are evil, and they should be shunned, and they should be shamed, and they shouldn't be allowed to live. Their money should be confiscated. Their property should be taken away from them.
Well, confiscated,
and they should perhaps go to prison for the rest of their lives.
Confiscated is a hard word, but they should at least pay it all in taxes.
Yes, they should. Yes. How much is their fair share? 100%.
Yes.
That's how much.
You know what?
Okay, you happy now?
110%. We want everything you've got.
Take a little bit
while
extra.
You're alive, and while you're dead, we're taking it too.
After you've given us everything you have, then you can work for the next 10 years and give all of that to us as well. So, yeah.
And then we'll see if that's enough. We'll see.
It would be nice to finally, once and for all, ascertain what that fair share is. If we could get that out of the Democrats during the campaign sometime, you continually tell us that the wealthy haven't paid their fair share. Okay, what is their fair share? Let's just settle on that. Can we at least agree on what a fair share is? Apparently it's not the 40% or 44% they're paying right now. Or if you add up local and state taxes, probably 55, 60% in some cases. That's not a fair share.
No, it is not.
Is it 70? Is it 75%? Is it 90%? Is it 100%? Where is that fair share line? That would be nice to finally, once and for all, find out.
Well, I mean, look, at some point, you've made too much money.
Yeah, I think, Barack made that clear to us.
So,
right?
let's be honest that when you reach that point, there's nothing. The line is everything.
Yes. Meanwhile, New York Governor Cuomo has blocked some federal judges from officiating at weddings. Why? Well, because they might be Trump nominees. That's why.
And they can't marry people?
No, because they might have come from Donald Trump. So Andrew Cuomo has vetoed a non-controversial bipartisan bill that would have allowed all federal judges to officiate weddings in the state, because some of them might have been nominated to the bench by President Donald Trump. That's unbelievable.
So the federal judges aren't doing weddings anyway. I mean, if I'm a federal judge, do I want Bill and Mary coming in and saying their vows?
Probably not.
Saying their vows in front of me?
No, no.
For an extra $10 on Saturday? I don't think so.
There is that aspect, too.
I mean, I don't know.
But Cuomo said, I cannot in good conscience support legislation that would authorize such actions by federal judges who are appointed by this federal administration.
Oh, my gosh.
President Trump does not embody who we are as New Yorkers. The cornerstones that built our great state are diversity, tolerance, and inclusion. Well, except for Trump and his people.
No.
We don't include them. No. We don't tolerate them.
No.
And we don't include them.
No.
Based on these reasons, I must veto this bill. That is unbelievable.
We can't diversify down that road. No.
No. That's too diverse. If you're talking about
yes.
Republicans, no. I'm sorry, we can't go there.
That's not going to happen.
That's unbelievable.
Sorry, my friend.
I mean, what hypocrisy. What unbelievable hypocrisy this is.
Which is why it was bipartisan.
And he gets away with it.
Right, but which is why it was a bipartisan bill, though, really, because I'm guessing that there weren't a lot of federal judges that wanted to marry people. But, maybe they have a backlog in New York. Maybe it's, they're trying to help out smaller areas. I don't know why they would do that. But they were like, yeah, sure.
Whatever.
The federal judges want to marry Bill and Mary on Saturday. Go ahead.
In a democratically controlled state.
Right.
But this guy is so extreme. He vetoes that bill. Yeah, some of them might have been appointed by Trump. I can't have that. Wait, what?
On behalf of the great state of New York, I now pronounce you man and wife. Does it work?
That's just nuts. 888-727-BECK.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
11 student groups, including the Harvard College Democrats, signed a petition accusing their school paper of showing cultural insensitivity for contacting ICE for a comment after a protest against the agency on campus. That's it. They just reached out for a comment. Thankfully, there is something we can do about the madness and the destruction of our civilization by these woke activists. It's as simple as the service you use every day. Switch your mobile carrier to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the only cellular service that donates a portion of your monthly bill to organizations fighting against things like this. Right now, Patriot Mobile is bringing back their buy one line, get one line free for 6 months if you make the switch. It's really easy. You keep your number, you keep your phone, or buy a new one. Get reliable 4G LTE nationwide service for as low as $25 a month while helping to preserve the country we all love. Go to patriotmobile.com/Beck or use their U.S.-based team at 877-367-7524. patriotmobile.com/Beck. 877-367-7524.
Hey, it's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. He'll be back on Monday morning. You got some good news on the Impossible Burger front, huh?
There are some good news. There's good news
the
on the
meatless
Impossible
burger that tastes just like meat, pretty much, it seems.
Well, yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, we heard late last year, since we were in early 2020, that it had similar ingredients
to dog food.
That's it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what food doesn't?
Right.
We know that the Impossible Whopper has 25 grams of protein. The Whopper has 28 grams, so it's darn near.
Darn near close
the same.
To equal.
Yeah, I mean, darn near the same. But we also know, according to this particular doctor, that it has a high amount of estrogen in each burger.
Oh, really?
The Impossible Whopper has 44 mg of estrogen. 44 milligrams. Of estrogen. So,
all right, 44 milligrams of estrogen. I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know.
But he said the Whopper has 2.5 ng of estrogen. So is that negative grams of estrogen? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Nanograms.
Okay.
Nanograms.
Okay. So that means that the Impossible Whopper, according to this doctor's math, has 18 million times as much estrogen as a regular Whopper.
that seems like a lot. 18 million times.
Seem like a lot.
Huh. That seems like a real lot. That's a way lot.
According to this story now, 6 glasses of soy milk per day has enough estrogen for you to grow breasts. So I don't, maybe you eat 3 or 4.
Wait,
Impossible.
How long would I have to drink 6 glasses of soy milk before I grow breasts? Come on, there's that much estrogen in soy.
It doesn't. I mean, 6 glasses a day for 10 years, 4 years,
your whole life.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Yeah,
but
I've heard things about soy before where there's something going on there.
I mean, they're filling us with estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's I'm an example of that.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I've got way too much estrogen.
All right. So you've grown breasts? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Yeah.
My entire body is just a breast.
That's really icky, but thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
It doesn't feel that way. So I'm just saying, look.
So
be careful.
There have been some really ugly things coming out about this Impossible Burger lately. Like you said, just a few weeks ago, they were talking about the dog food similarity because the ingredients are very similar to dog food.
Right.
Now they're saying that you're getting high doses of estrogen every time you eat the thing.
And it sounds, and you say high dosages, 18
million times
more than the Whopper itself.
You've convinced me not to eat the thing. These two. I'm not even going to take the chance now. I'm not eating that burger.
And you have to specifically ask for it to be microwaved. Or they're just going to cook it on the grill that they're cooking the beef on, right? So, I mean, I don't know what the point is.
Yeah.
I mean, your point of having the Impossible Burger is to not have beef.
Yes.
But do you want dog food and breasts and to have it
I personally don't. No.
You sure?
I personally don't.
Okay. And that's just you, though. I mean,
it might be just me. I don't know.
Look.
I'm sure if Stu were here, he would poo-poo this.
Absolutely he would.
In some way.
Absolutely he would. And then you'd have to say, well, take off your shirt. All right, let's see what you got.
Let's see who has
let's
the
see
breasts.
What you got.
Yeah.
Let's see what the Whopper's
Okay.
done and what the Impossible Burger has done, okay? Look, if you want the Impossible Burger, is it going to matter? Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Am I going to take the chance? Nope. Nope. I've been convinced. Whether this is true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's enough to convince me I'm not having the Impossible Burger ever again. So
all right,
there's that.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's what you did,
Sorry.
my friend. That's what you just did. 888-727-BECK.
You're listening to Glenn Beck. The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
With Pat and Jeffy, 888-727-BECK. Phone number to call to get involved in the show if you'd like. We got to talk about this Alex Jones lawsuit. He was being sued by some of the families inside Sandy Hook. There is an outcome there. We'll tell you about that in about 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hey, you want a New Year's resolution that you can actually keep? Resolve to help protect your identity and personal information with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock will alert you to potential threats to your identity. And they'll see more than what you can see by just monitoring your own credit, like information on the dark web. And if you have a problem, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialists know the steps to help resolve your case. After all, only 1 in 5 identity theft victims who had accounts open in their name discovered their theft through a bank or a credit card company. Now, nobody can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock is the New Year's resolution that's not only easy to keep, it'll help you protect what you've worked so hard for. I've worked with LifeLock for years, and I've had LifeLock for years because they're the best in the business. So get LifeLock now for up to 25% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. Promo code BECK for up to 25% off at LifeLock.com.
It's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program. He's back on Monday, 888-727-BECK. Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $100,000 in the Sandy Hook case.
No, it doesn't seem to be a lot of money.
Yeah. He did call it a hoax. Some of the parents, of course, in that tragic event took real exception to that. Yeah. He was being sued for defamation in Austin by the parents of a 6-year-old who was among the 26 people killed in the Newtown, Connecticut attack. State District Judge Scott Jenkins ruled that Jones and his defense team intentionally disregarded an earlier order to provide witnesses to attorneys representing the Sandy Hook father who brought the lawsuit. Jenkins also denied Jones' request to dismiss the lawsuit. I mean, here's what he said that they took issue with.
They have staged events before, but then you learn the school had been closed and reopened, and you got video of the kids going in circles in and out of the building, and they don't call the rescue choppers for 2 hours, and then they tear the building down and seal it, and they get caught using blue screens, and a email by Bloomberg comes out in the lawsuit where he's telling his people, get ready in the next 24 hours to capitalize on a shooting. So Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are that they clearly used actors. I mean, they even ended up using photos of kids killed in mass shootings here in a fake mass shooting in Turkey.
Very strange. Very, very strange.
Really strange.
I don't understand. Walking in circles, demolition of the building. What? Okay. And he knew they had actors
from the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Clearly
obvious. That was obvious. which, of course, no, they didn't have actors there. And I don't know where any of that stuff came from, but so that cost him $100,000. But I don't know that I think he's changed his tune a little bit on Sandy Hook now. I think he now admits it was an actual event.
Yeah, and then it was just a show that he was doing. Right?
Yeah,
it
used to be he denied ever saying what you just heard. He used to say, "No, I didn't. I never said that." Well, of course you did, and we have
the world heard you.
Yes,
I mean, we've played it 1,000 times.
We heard you clearly.
At least the world of us.
Yes, yes. The world of radio heard him, and we heard him when he said all of this.
And to feel what the children are feeling.
Yeah.
God Almighty. Folks, we gotta get good people to stand up against these people.
Yes.
I probably shouldn't even have done this radio show today.
Already
because I have this disgusted cover.
Yeah.
For how I just hate the globalists, but it's more than that.
It's more than that.
It is quite.
And I just get flippant and angry, but it's because deep down, folks, I can see what they're doing, and we have a responsibility to stop these globalists.
That's right.
Where are the men in this country? Where are the men in this world? What the hell have we become?
I need a man.
We just offer our children up to the system with the fluoride in the water and the GMO hurting them, and we let fat perverts grab them at the airport to train them for the pedophile government.
For the pedophile government.
And we've just got such a sick society.
I mean, there's a lot there.
There's a
whole
lot there. A whole lot there. Wow. I'd forgotten how a lot of stuff there was there.
Yeah, there's a ton. I don't even know where you start into that if you wanted to dissect it, because there's really too much there.
So good.
That's amazing.
So good. Yeah.
But where are the men?
Control.
Where are the men?
What have we become?
They've all been poisoned by fluoride, I think, and they're all gone. They're dead.
GMOs. Just offer them up to the PSA fat pedophile. It's just amazing.
I know. Incredible stuff. So anyway, some of his antics have cost him
broadcasting anymore?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's just.
he's
been banned. And by the way, he should not be taken off of Twitter and all the platforms that he was banned from. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And I don't know how I feel about him being fined for the Sandy Hook stuff. I mean, I know he was saying, the stuff that nobody really liked or believed, but I don't know that.
Well, do you believe it? What you have to believe is that it rose to the level of defamation. That these people who were in this tragic situation were just doing it with actors and pretending all the way. Does that rise to the level of defamation?
Obviously.
This judge thought so.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be appeals. He's not just going to say, "Okay, here's $100,000." Obviously, you're going to appeal that to a higher court, and we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and see where that goes.
I mean, it's ridiculous that he doesn't have any platforms to broadcast on or to promote his work or anything. Come on, man, it's Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it doesn't. Let me decide. This is what ticks me off about the social media stuff is that I know that you have your algorithms and you're doing it for my good and you're letting me see what you think I should see because you've decided that this is what I like to see,
and you know better.
We're back to that. Someone knowing what's better for you.
It's progressives who know better than the rest of us and what we can consume
exactly
and what we
it
can't.
Is. Yes. But just what I just let me do it. Just let me decide.
Right, I can decide whether I buy into Jones and Infowars and all that stuff.
I already have decided on my social media site who I follow, who I like, what I do.
Right,
that's fine. Let me decide.
And you can also say, and we've done this in the past. We've talked about this before, but you can also say, well, they're private businesses. They can decide who's on their platform and who's not.
And we hear that all the time.
And that's not true.
But
because they have made an agreement with the government that they will be non-biased.
just down the middle. We're just everything we cover. That's what we're here for.
And if
Everybody
they're not,
has a say.
if they're not biased, they can be held accountable for what's on their platform.
So right now they've got it both ways.
Right now they're having it both ways. And they are biased. They're not kicking anybody in the left off of their platforms. Just people like Alex Jones, Michelle Malkin, whoever they decide has done something really evil that they don't like, and they just boot them off. Well, that's nonsense. And it shouldn't be happening. You should allow them their free speech and let us decide what we'll consume and what we won't. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. If I don't want to listen to InfoWars or read their stuff, I just don't. And in fact, I don't. When something is linked on Drudge and it goes to InfoWars stories, I just click off of it.
And a lot of times, it's their algorithms that set you up. They've got the algorithm set up for your safety and for the legalities. I mean, and it works so well.
Oh,
because,
doesn't it?
My wife posted a picture of her mixer making cookies in the kitchen, going around and around and around. Instagram and Sony decided that could possibly be something that's owned by them musically, so they blocked that post.
What?
Now, she could argue that.
They could,
and say
musically.
They could argue that and say, hey, we disagree and that post should be up. But you have, up until 7 days to respond. They responded 4 days later. Oops, we were wrong.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oops, we were wrong.
They took down a picture of a mixer?
You can post your mixer going around in a circle making cookies. Don't worry about it.
And what was it supposed to musically infringe on?
Whatever sound it was making. The algorithm said, ooh, that's something that could be illegal music. Really strange.
Must have been a Justin Bieber song. Sounded like a mixer going around. I guess. Around. Yeah, I can see that. Man. I can definitely see that. All right. You're right. They were right.
There's a saying in business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And now the rapid pace of business, it's hard to keep up with those numbers. Can you afford to expand? Can you make that new hire? Can you launch a new ad campaign? How's revenue pacing compared to last year? Now, most companies don't have a clear picture of their finances, so they make business decisions without that critical information based on their gut or worse, their fear. And that's why many businesses fail. Serious entrepreneurs and finance teams run on NetSuite by Oracle. This is the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite offers a full picture of all of your finances all in one place in real time, right from your phone or your desktop. So you don't have to guess anymore. And that's why NetSuite customers grow 3 times faster than the S&P 500, and you can too. Schedule your free demo right now and receive their free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/Beck. Set up your free demo and get your free guide today. netsuite.com/Beck.
It's Pat and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program, 888-727-BECK.
So there's always ways that you can, and this is going to come as a surprise that I was thinking about it, but there's always ways that you can, rob people, defraud people, do things that other people don't appreciate with their documents and their money. And I saw a story that I thought, oh, man, that's a good idea. I should have thought of that. And I'm not sure how to use it yet, but they're warning people, and now I'm going to warn you. It's now 2020. And so when you sign your legal documents, say, and have to date it, so if you date it, like today would be, if you're listening and watching live, it's the 3rd of January, 2020. But you might sign something, 1/3/20.
Yeah.
And they're saying,
don't do that.
I want to do that.
Why?
Because people could change the date, the year, on the date of your document. So you could
put like 1/3/20, and they could make it 2022. What would that do?
Yeah, or even backdate it, right? 2015, 2016. And I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying.
What would be the ramifications of that?
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure. What do they get out of that?
That's I don't know. I'm not sure what they're hoping to gain from that, but it is something to ponder.
Okay.
Because there's got to be something I can steal.
So you're looking for a way to scam.
No. Other people are. Other people are, not me.
I just don't know what benefit that would be to anybody to put a different.
I'm not sure either.
Date on it. So what?
But it would just. If
you could change the amount, that's a different deal. But that's not what they're talking about. Weird.
I know. But when I heard that, I thought, maybe that's a good idea to start making sure I just put 2020.
My biggest problem is when the Jewish New Year rolls around. I get so used to writing 5782 on my checks. I can't write 5783. I never remember. That's my biggest problem, I think. I don't know what that does to people either, but messes them up a little bit.
Right?
They're thinking, I thought it was at 5783 now.
There's not. There's a minority of people that have that problem.
Is there?
Yeah. There's not a majority of people. A lot of people have that problem, but I guess if you have something to worry about, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want that to happen.
You don't want the wrong date on your check, no matter what it is. No, whether it's 2020 or whether it's 5783, you just don't want to make a mistake.
You don't want to do that
in that regard.
That's just wrong.
888-727-BECK. Will it be 5783 before the Dallas Cowboys finally announce that they've gotten rid of Jason Garrett? Because apparently they still haven't made the official announcement. Everybody thinks that he's out.
Yeah.
But nobody knows for sure, as far as I know.
As far as I know, there's been no official statement. There was
a Cowboys reporter who said last night, I got inside information that Jason's out. Jason Garrett
we all have that information. His contract is up on the 14th of this month. Right. He hasn't been re-signed.
Right.
So, we all are figuring that, since he didn't get the boot right after the game last week, which he should have. I say that. Dallas fans believe that he should have been
almost
gone.
Unanimously,
yes.
It feels like.
It's really strange that the ownership, Jerry Jones, who is so into press and caring about what the fans think, hasn't acted on this. It's really strange.
It is. I hear a lot of speculation. It's because of their relationship. I guess, they're really close. They go back, a long time.
Oh, okay. Like
26 years.
Stand there at the podium with your arm around him then and say, hey, man, we wish it would have worked out better. Don't we? Get out.
Yeah. You have to make.
I'm not wishing for anyone to get fired.
But if there's anybody who knows how to make tough decisions, Jerry Jones is one of those guys. He fired Tom Landry as his first move when he bought the team.
Tom was around too long.
Fired a legendary coach.
What did Landry ever do in his life?
Nothing. He didn't do anything. So for him to be wishy-washy and take so much time on this, it is kind of strange.
And there's so many other teams that are looking for coaches and hiring coaches and out interviewing coaches that it would seem as though the window is closing on some decent coaches, unless
you're going after Urban Meyer.
And they already have that deal in the can, right? It's already there.
Maybe you've been talking to him all along.
Right.
And you already got a deal worked
right.
out.
And because of your relationship with Jason, you let that ride out and try to find another place for him, try to make it work out for him.
Yeah, and they could. Maybe they're working on putting him somewhere else in the organization.
At the end of his contract on the 14th, another 10 days or sometimes between now and then, you say, yes, we've made a decision. Jason is going to be the head groundskeeper here at the stadium. He's going to be the
consultant
yes.
and groundskeeper.
Yes.
But he's going to consult Urban Meyer,
yes.
on important
it's going to transition
decisions.
The players to the head coach position of Urban Meyer.
Yes. Yeah.
And then by the end of when Urban takes the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, the question will be, what did Jason Garrett consult you with, Urban? And Urban will say, I don't know, the color of the grass. And that'll be done. That'll be his consulting job. Because Urban's not going to.
I asked him how many sprinklers we should have on the field to keep the grass as green as possible.
And his answer was, I don't know, it's turf. So, I would love to see Urban Meyer
I think that'd be great.
Come into the NFL.
You know, fun. A lot of people think, well, college coaches don't work out. I don't buy that where Urban Meyer is concerned because it works out wherever that guy goes.
I don't either.
You know what his winning percentage is? This is all of it. Bowling Green, I think it was.
I think it's 100%. He's never lost a game.
Florida, Ohio State. He's rarely lost a game. 85% winning percentage.
Yeah.
854 to be exact. That's incredible.
And look, and the Cowboys are the team. If you look back, you know, and I'm not really a Cowboys fan, but I'm kind of a Cowboys fan because we're here. We live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so you know you're bombarded by it.
Yes.
But they're a team that should have done so much better this year. They're on the cusp of being.
They could have been a Super Bowl team.
Yes. So Urban is big on his legacy. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going anywhere. He didn't go from Florida to Ohio State just out of happenstance.
Right.
You know, that program, there was a program that was already built and ready to rock and roll.
I mean, look at this. When he took over Bowling Green, he went 8-3 his first year, 9-3 his second. At Bowling Green!
Yeah.
So then he goes to the Godless Animals at Utah, University of Utah. And in his first year there, he's 10-2. Then he's 12-0.
Yeah.
Wow. So he spent 2 years there, transfers to Florida, 9-3, 13-1, 9-4, 13-1, 13-1, and then that horrible 8-5 season.
Oh,
that's his worst year.
He was 8-5. That's because he was having headaches.
First year, yes, it is.
Headaches.
Ohio State first year, 12-0. Then 12-2, 14-1, 12-1, 11-2, 12-2, 10-1. The guy's unbelievable. I mean, that's unbelievable. His track record.
10-1 at Ohio State, headaches.
Yeah. But you can't argue with his track record.
No way.
You really can't.
No way. So you bring him in. I mean, it'd be a great move. It'd be a great. You know, nobody knows what's going to happen, obviously, but it would be a great move to see for the NFL and for the Dallas Cowboys to bring Urban in to a setting like the Cowboys.
Now, does Urban want to get back into coaching?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is he content with just being on television, being an
is it ESPN? Isn't he on ESPN?
Yeah, one of them. He's one of the
Fox.
One of the coaches.
Maybe it's Fox. Yeah. All right, but we'll see. We'll see. By Monday, I'll bet this thing is resolved.
I hope
so. You're listening to Glenn Beck.
According to the census, only 1 in 5 homes have any home security, probably because most companies don't make it easy with complicated installations, long-term contracts, astronomical monthly fees. But Simply Safe is different, and that's why they've been my choice for home security for a very long time. You get smart lock and video doorbell to defend your front door against porch pirates, and an arsenal of sensors to cover every inch of your home. And with Simply Safe, there are never any long-term contracts, just comprehensive professional home security for $15 a month. This is your last chance to take advantage of Simply Safe's amazing holiday savings. 25% off your system plus a free HD security camera with your order. Simply Safe, they rarely run deals this big, so now is your chance. I have not seen a deal this good until now at simplysafebeck.com. But hurry, the sale ends January 7th. That's simplysafebeck.com. simplysafebeck.com.
Pat Gray and Jeffy for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program, 888-727-BECK. I hope the streets are soon going to be made safe, because right now it just seems too dangerous to go out when you know that Aunt Becky is out there wandering around the streets of this country scot-free. Scot-free.
He is still free.
The felon Aunt Becky who paid to get her kids into school, and she's still roaming around this country free as a bird.
It was tough to get any rest over the holidays, knowing that she was out there on the streets.
It was scary. I couldn't sleep a wink. Not a wink.
I thought, thanks to Varsity Blues, that they were all going to be
incarcerated. Yes.
Thank you. But no.
She hasn't been yet.
No, she has not. She's still out there. 13 parents of the 35 that were arrested and have been sentenced.
Yeah.
But she is still free. Remember, she went against the court saying that they didn't give the
FBI is holding back information.
Withholding information.
That shows that she's innocent.
Now
she says.
They have until the 17th of this month to respond to that.
I think her claim is that it was a charitable donation to USC, right? That she and her husband gave a charitable donation to USC.
Which, if that's the,
and if that's the case, if she didn't know about this, if they weren't trying to bribe officials or whatever.
And to be honest, a lot of these, where they're getting a lot of these parents is the mail fraud of it, right? Can we stop? Can we stop?
Can we stop prosecuting mail fraud? Probably not. No, probably not.
Stop.
Probably not. It's a federal offense.
Oh, all right,
Jeffy.
Fine. You're right.
Although if they paid money to get her kids into school, is that the worst thing in the world? I don't even care. I'm sorry.
No.
I don't care about that one. If she paid $500,000 to get her kid into, well, it's not fair to everybody else who can't get $500,000 to the college and get them in, and it's wealthy people taking advantage of the. Okay, well, whatever. Whatever.
The people who should be, in my estimation, the people who should be prosecuted and damned for this are the singer. He was the one that implemented it all for the parents.
The singer, who's the singer?
Rick Singer, that's his name, I think. Right? He's the guy that took everybody's money, and then he went to the universities.
He's not actually a singer. His name is Rick Singer.
He might be a singer too. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if he sings. Maybe that's how he got these guys to agree with him. I don't know.
You're right.
But the coaches. My gosh, the coaches knew.
It's the coaches that
they were defrauding the universities, defrauding the scholarship programs.
Yes. Right.
I mean, those guys, that's completely wrong.
It is.
Completely wrong.
Yeah, it is.
As a parent, but so many of
and
these
it's hard to
parents
believe that could go on at a school like USC.
It sure is.
Where athletics are so important. And I think it involved the soccer team, right?
One of them involved the soccer team.
One of them was the rowing. Which,
the rowing team.
I didn't even know they rowed on the West Coast. I know rowing is a thing in the East.
Neither did the USC administration.
yeah, they didn't.
What, we have a rowing team? What?
When did that start? But, soccer's a serious sport.
It sure is. Especially in Southern California.
There are communists who enjoy soccer. And, at a Pac-12 school, that would be a big thing to recruit somebody or pretend like you're recruiting somebody on a soccer scholarship, and then they don't even play soccer.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that could happen.
It sure is.
At a serious sports school like USC.
So the 35 parents, including Lori and Felicity, were indicted for conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud.
Is this a new thing, or is this part of the original?
That's part of the original. Yeah.
Because they keep trying to add stuff to
that was their
Aunt
deal,
Becky's
right? I mean, that was the
deal.
last deal, right? Make a deal with us, or we're going to add stuff in.
Yeah,
and that's when then she came back with that they were withholding evidence,
right?
Which is why which would explain, if true, why she hasn't cut a deal and just done her 13 or 11 days in
everybody
jail.
Said you should do what Felicity did because
she's done with it now.
Yeah, it's behind her.
She's walked down her calendar in prison.
Yes.
She's walked down the calendar in prison.
She paid her debt to society.
I mean, she was sentenced to 14 days, I think.
Yeah.
And she served
9? Was it 9?
10 or 11, something like that.
So.
I mean, but she did her time.
But that ordeal is behind her. She
did her time.
But she only paid, didn't she pay like just $15,000 or something?
It wasn't very much.
Yeah, and supposedly with Aunt Becky, she and her husband paid $500,000. Now again, they claim that was a donation to the school.
And people do it. I mean, when this first happened, the original thing, and I know that many of the other things I'm not supposed to joke with. Mail fraud is a horrible thing. It's a federal crime. I got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't.
It doesn't sound like you have it, but okay.
You shouldn't have mailed the SAT scores in the mail to the guy. Okay, that's illegal. Okay, stop it. Okay. Come on. Did you even know that fudging an SAT test was illegal? And then mailing it? No one knew that. Come on.
I love that you disagree with the laws, and so you don't think they should be adhered to. That's great.
Just silly.
That's just perfect Jeffy stuff. Okay, I was supposed to know that I can't go into a bank, stick a gun in somebody's face, and say, "Give me all the money in your cash register."
See, that's upsetting because I
was supposed to know that. What? I didn't know that. What?
It's just silly.
I mean, some of these stupid rules and laws around here. I'm supposed to know you can't do that? How are you supposed to know?
But if true, I mean, if the government is actually doing that, holding it over her head like that,
That's bad.
Come on.
Yeah, that's ugly.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're just trying to make an example out of somebody who
right.
doesn't need to be made an example of. I mean, leave her alone. First of all,
that's most my point originally is that people give money. There's buildings named after people on college campuses all across America. You think their families had trouble getting into those schools?
At USC?
No.
Do you remember the Dr. Dre tweet? Dr. Dre, who is a big rap guy and clothing businessman, whatever. He and his partner donated $75 million.
$75
million to USC, the same school Aunt Becky donated to. And then he bragged about the fact, I didn't have to bribe USC to get my daughter in there. Oh, you didn't?
Oh, no, really?
They just built a $75 million arts center that you paid for with your name on it.
You think maybe my daughter could go here? Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
I think no.
We'll see.
Like you're going to say no after a $75 million donation.
Maybe she goes to community college down the road for a couple of years. It didn't happen.
So, yeah, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Dr. Dre immediately deleted the tweet when he realized how stupid it was.
Oops.
Oopsies.
Oops.
I guess maybe it does look like the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird how that happens. I'll tell you another guy that needs to be off the streets.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about, feeling uncomfortable on the streets because criminals are out there among us, is Robert Kraft.
Oh, yeah.
The owner of the New England Patriots. I don't know if we can call him an owner. Well, it's NFL. We can call him an owner. They're owners in the NFL, governors in the NBA. Because he,
solicited prostitution in Florida. Allegedly, yes. It's apparently on camera, but allegedly.
Those videotapes can't be used in court, Pat, so it doesn't matter.
Is that true? Can they not be used?
I think the judge ruled against the videotapes. I'm not sure exactly why, but he's still up to facing, possibly face a felony. And you're talking about, possible of 5 years. Okay. We're really going to send Robert Kraft.
This is the owner of the New England Patriots. For
5 years in prison for stopping by a couple of times at the Orchards of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter, Florida. Are we really going to do that?
How is he supposed to know that soliciting prostitution is illegal? How is he supposed to know that? Please, come on.
What the videotapes don't show is him trying to saying stop.
You know what's amazing? Oh yeah, all I wanted was a massage.
I want to get out of there. I stopped at the day spa for a massage.
Don't do anything extra. Whoa! Stop that. So it's interesting though how he's being treated after this. They don't even bring it up.
No, nobody talks about it.
At Patriot games, they'll show him in the press box or in the owner's box or whatever.
You can bet this weekend when the Patriots are playing, you can bet they'll show him there in Foxborough.
And they won't say a word about it. They're completely mum on the issue. It's like it never happened.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely not going to see the Fox playoff game do a side-by-side of the Orchards Day Spa in Jupiter, Florida, and Robert Kraft.
Wouldn't that be something? That would show some giblets.
We got a timeout here in Foxborough. Just want to remind you, this is the place where Robert got arrested there, the Orchards Day Spa.
I would have respect for CBS Sports if they do a side-by-side of Kraft.
The Orchards of Asia Day Spa.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
Yes, it would.
But they treat him completely
Not gonna
differently.
happen.
I mean, it's weird. Anybody else involved in a scandal like this would probably already not own the team.
Well, they'd be
right.
I mean,
I've never seen anything like this where he's had, so far at least, no repercussions on it at all. It's illegal activity, and it's unseemly for an owner of a
he hasn't been found guilty
major
of anything
franchise,
right?
But that doesn't bother anybody anymore. You are convicted in the court of public opinion instantly,
Yeah, you sure
and
are.
usually drummed out of your position. None
sure
of that
are.
has happened for him.
Yeah,
it's kind of amazing, interesting to watch. We'll see if they. I mean, is anybody going to bring it up on playoff weekend with the Patriots
Not a
playing
chance.
against the Titans?
No chance.
No.
The owner of the Patriots up there facing a possible.
Hey,
5
you remember
years in
that?
prison.
Yeah.
Possible 5 years in prison and a felony charge of his actions down in Florida there.
Tell me you wouldn't respect any reporter who said that, though. Tell me. They'd probably be fired from their position.
Oh, yes.
But
They
I'd
most
respect them
definitely
for it.
would.
They'd have my respect.
They most definitely would.
Yeah, I think so, too. 888-727-BECK.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
All right, I want to tell you what I'm getting my wife for Christmas because she sent me an email. And if you don't believe what I say is true when I tell you about the commercials, ask my wife about all of the stuff that we use that you hear me talk about. And with X-Chair, I have an X-Chair. I have one in the studio. I have one in my office. And my wife sent me an email that said, I want an X-Chair for Christmas. And so what happened? I'm laying my head down on my pillow at night, and she says, they're $100 off. I'm like, I know, honey. I read the commercials every day. So don't believe me? My wife does. The best chair I've ever sat in, and she sits in my office chair as well. She knows. Right now, you'll save
we didn't kill them in Iran. We
Correct.
killed them in another country, Iraq, while they were conspiring to kill
attack
Americans.
U.S. soldiers. Yeah.
So I'm sure that's going to get left out a lot of many of the stories that you hear.
Completely left out. Yeah. Especially from the Iranians. That part won't be
Yes.
told. No, that part won't.
Any Trump haters will leave that part out as well.
Yes.
It's all just a bad thing that we did. So it's,
And the Democrats are kind of already going there.
course.
That was a bad and a stupid thing to have done. When I think President Trump is right. This should have happened a long time ago. The
Yes.
guy's responsible for hundreds of deaths
we're not
of
gonna,
U.S.
we're
soldiers.
tired of letting Americans die on foreign soil.
Right.
Period.
And we have a president who's not going to just roll over and play dead for it, which is great.
Yes.
In my estimation.
Yes, it is.
Now, will this create some chaos? Yeah, it will.
It appears so.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to retaliate in some way, and we'll have to see about how this escalates. But again, did you want to just do nothing? Did we not want to respond to what they did at the embassy? Do we just want to leave things alone and let sleeping dogs lie? No, that's not the United States. That's not the superpower of the planet.
Right.
So
now do we get out of there, though? Now,
Yeah.
do we get out of there now,
Right.
or do we have to
Probably
build back
not.
up again?
Probably not. At least for a while. You got to build
Right.
back up again, I think. All right. Glenn is back on Monday. I will see you on Pat Gray Unleashed Monday morning.
See you
Jeffy
on
will be
Chewing
on
the Fat.
Chewing the Fat. Have a great weekend.
You're listening